Yo, welcome to the show. It's Boston's Banter with Frank the Bank and Keith LaCava. You know the answer. Talking sports, breaking down the play so raw. From the Celtics to the Sox, we giving you the score. Catch the vibe, we coming live. Filling up your feed, let the passion thrive. Every dunk, every run, we analyze the moves. Shout out to the fans, feel the rhythm and grooves. From Gillette to the Garden, we ain't missing a beat. Frank and LaCava bring the fire, can't accept defeat.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Boston's Banter, where the sports are wicked and the banter is Pissah. I'm your host, Frank the Bank. With me, as always, is Keith LaCava. What's going on, Roranosaurus Rex?
Actually, that's very appropriate for this week. Not much Broman Pfeiffer. What's going on?
Same old, man, same old. Just like your shirt, we're going to do a good promo this week. But
Yes, sir.
Episode 3 of Season 2.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I got some sad news and I got some good news. What do you want first?
You know what, Frankie? As always, I'm going to take the good news first.
So I'm going to give you the sad news first. We're not going to have a show next week, but the good news is because you're having your first baby, you and Steph, and that's why. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother, man.
Something from the Boston Banter family for you and Steph. This is a surprise for you. I got to thank my mom for the help with this one, too. Thanks, Mom. You're the best.
Are you serious, bro?
Yeah, hold it up for the camera, dog. All of them. There's more than one. Oh, yeah.
What? Are you kidding me?
Show the camera. The back. Check the back out.
Oh, my God,
Yeah,
bro.
Boston Banter. Yeah, they're different. They're different.
Steph's going to love this when I bring this
Steph,
home.
thank you as well for all you do.
Newest recruit. Oh, my
Boston's
God.
Banter's newest recruit, and there's one more.
Frankie, what are you doing, guy?
And then the LaCava softball.
Man,
You like that?
bro. My guy,
Yeah.
dude. I appreciate you, bro.
Congratulations, you two. You know, it's really cool, but now we got some work to do. Let's get into the wicked Pissah news when you're ready.
Yes, sir. Well, man, hey, give me a minute there. That was
Yeah.
awesome. You almost made me shed a tear,
Oh, that's
Frankie.
cool, man. I'm happy for you, bro.
But Frankie, man, really appreciate that. But
No
yeah,
problem, buddy.
wicked Pissah news. Let's get into it, Frankie. We're gonna start with actually some draft picks. We're gonna
Yeah,
start with
let's
the
do it.
Bruins draft picks. So the NHL draft was this past week. So let's break it down who they drafted, Frankie. To start off the first 2 rounds in the 2025 NHL draft, the Bruins took 2 guys out of BC in centers James Hagens in the first, 7th overall, and William Moore in the second. And here's the list of the rest of the guys. Also in the second, they took Liam Peterson out of Sweden.
Yep.
In the third, they took 18-year-old Cooper Simpson, Czech defenseman Vasek Blainer in the 4th, Cole Chandler out of Canada in the 5th, and with their last pick in the 6th, they took Kirill Yemelyanov out of Russia, if I said that right, Frankie.
I don't know if you did say that.
I
have
hope
no
I
idea.
did.
But, I mean, of all the analysts that I saw, everyone's giving them like an A to an A minus, B plus at the low end. So it's like they actually had a good draft. I mean, Hagen's falling to 7 was a surprise. A lot of people had him as a top 5 pick.
Yep.
So everyone really liked him. I mean, the kid as a freshman at BC averaged a point a game, which is, you know, very impressive on a very deep BC's team as well.
Absolutely.
Will Moore committed there but played international. He averaged almost a point a game too internationally last year. He's a really good player. But I mean, overall rankings, if you look at like the Central Scouting Rank, it's called, or CSR, 3rd highest ranked North American skater, Hagens.
Yep.
So that's really good. And then with Will Moore, the 29th highest rated North American skater.
Yep.
So again, they got 2 really good guys there. But then if you look at what they did with Peterson is good internationally. He was ranked 28th for international skaters on the CSR. So I thought that was really good. One guy that I really liked, and we're not going to get into every pick, but was Cooper Simpson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 79th overall. The kid in high school is an 18-year-old. His last season, he played in 31 games. Do you know how many points he had in the 31 games?
I'm going to say 31.
83 points.
I don't know, man.
83 points. So, yeah, 31 a game is 1 a game, but he almost had 3 points a game.
That's insane.
As a senior.
Way
So, I mean,
better.
49 goals, 34 dimes. Insane amount.
Wow.
Yeah, the points were insane. So,
Bringing in the young talent.
yeah, and he jumped right into a USHL league, which is like kind of like a minor league, if you will. And he played in 9 games. He scored 7 goals. So it's like that was right after high school, in between the draft and stuff. So they really liked that too. So I thought they had a really good draft.
I mean, I would say so, man. I didn't really look too much into these guys. The 2 guys from BC I heard a lot about. Well, one of them playing at BC, and the other one being a recruit from BC.
Yep.
But yeah, man, those are some good names you brought in. Let's hope the Bees turn around, because last year they just sucked.
Yeah, they need to do something. But I think they got a bright future there. So
Absolutely.
very good draft grade, and you know,
Yes,
the
sir.
first time in a decade where we had a top 10 pick.
There we go. So
Yep,
hopefully they did the right thing with it.
Absolutely. Why don't we jump to the NBA picks, NBA draft?
Yes, sir. That recently happened last week as well. Let's
Yep.
bring up the Celtics draft picks real
Love it.
quick. So, in the first round, the C's selected small forward Hugo Gonzalez with the 28th pick and already has loads of pro potential, Frankie. He
Yep.
played at Real Madrid, despite only being 19 years old as well, so he's got that experience.
Yep.
And he's been on Brad Stevens' radar a long time as well. And one thing he has to work on is the consistent scoring. But again, bringing a young guy like that, the guy that can score, especially coming off the bench, I doubt he's going to start right away, but I hope that he can provide a spark, coming off the bench
Yeah,
for
I
us.
thought it was a decent pick. ESPN's John Giavoni, I don't know if you know how to say his last name, but he's like an analyst for ESPN, said it was the steal of the draft.
I love it. I love to
so
hear
that's
that.
a good pick. So
Then in the second round, they took big man Amari Williams with the 46th pick out of Kentucky after a trade with Orlando. Averaged roughly 8.5 rebounds a game and 10.9 points per game. Stands at 6'11" and has a 7'5" wingspan. Looks like he fits the mold of a physical, dominant center, and we hope he can be for us. We're going to need that, bro. We've been losing a lot of big guys.
that was a good trade Stevens made too. So I mean, they traded the 32nd pick and they got the 46th and the 57th. So they got 2 picks for the 1, which I
Right.
thought was great. Trading back 14 picks, not a bad move there. He is a really good rebounder.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
Very, very good passing big man.
Absolutely.
So one of the best big men passers in the draft.
Yeah, like you said, rebounding, and he's good at offensive rebounding as well, and he has good defensive versatility, so let's hope he pans out too.
Yeah.
And then lastly, also in the second round and also in a trade with Orlando, the C's took Ukrainian guard out of VCU, Max Shulga, who a lot of analysts call a tough shooter. He averaged 15 points per game, 4 assists per game, and 5.9 rebounds per game last year for VCU. I mean, he was a stat sheet stuffer, it looked like.
Yeah, he's about 6'5". I mean, kind of reminds me of JJ Redick. JJ was about 6'4", so good outside shooter, 40% almost from three-point land, which we like in our scheme of things.
Right.
He made the first team All-Atlantic Conference 2 times at VCU. So, I mean, very good player. I mean, to be the first team like that, that's really good. So, I think he fits our scheme really well. Also, I will say all 3 of our draft picks were international. Not one of them was American this year. So, you have
Really?
Gonzalez from Spain, Williams was from Britain, and Skulga from Ukraine, like you just said.
There we go, man.
It's kind of cool.
The international players too, man. They got a lot of experience under their belt too. So, like I said, with Gonzalez, man, he played professional at 19 for Real Madrid.
I'm saying, yeah, this is pretty interesting.
Absolutely,
we'll
man.
see.
We'll see what happens with that. But Frankie, let's just get into some notable names from this past draft.
there
And
was some
obviously,
good-
we'll start with number 1. Cooper Flagg
We all
out
knew
of
that.
Duke. We all knew he was going to be
course.
number 1.
Yep.
Kid's going to be a beast, especially on that Mavs roster. But I just want to bring up a few names here, more notable names actually of guys who are sons or brothers of current or former NBA players.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Point guard Dylan Harper of Rutgers went number 2 to the Spurs. He's the son of former NBA player Ron Harper.
Yep.
Guard Jace Richardson, if that sounds familiar, of Michigan State. He went 25th overall to the Orlando Magic. He is the son of former NBA player Jason Richardson, who towards the end of his career spent 2 seasons in Orlando. So going full circle there with
That's
the family
awesome
tree.
for him,
And then 2 notable undrafted names I just want to bring up real quick. Point guard Ryan Nembhard was picked up by the Mavs. He is the brother of current Pacers point guard Andrew Nembhard. And then power forward Julian Reese was picked up by the Lakers. He is the brother of the me-bounder herself, Brick Queen Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, yeah, that's awesome, yeah.
Frankie, let's get into some more Celtics news. So the Celtics made another trade this past week, bro, and we're going to break it down real quick. They traded Kristaps Porzingis
Yeah,
along with a
that's
second-round pick to the Hawks for New England native Georges Niang and a second-round pick. It was a 3-team deal that included the Nets, another vital piece to our championship last year, gone. Porzingis missed 40 games for the C's last season, averaging 19.5 points per game, mostly dealing with foot, ankle, and even a respiratory infection.
Yep.
But I'm not going to lie, man, this trade saves the Celtics roughly $22 million in salary for the upcoming season. And Niang, on the other hand, I'm going to bring this up, he hasn't played in under 70 games the last 5 seasons. He's played in 78 games for the Cavs and Hawks last year.
Yep.
He was a piece involved in the DeAndre Hunter to Cleveland deal, but he looks to be a healthy player who averaged roughly almost 10 points a game last season on almost 50% shooting.
Yeah, I mean, we want Porzingis more than him, but
That's
at the
what
end
I'm
of the day,
saying.
it's like
I'm just trying to see the silver
this
lining.
year, they might not be that good without Tatum too, so it's like, maybe you get a high draft pick and you're
Right.
looking a couple years ahead now, you know what I mean? So
We'll
we'll
see what
how
happens
they
with
do.
that.
Yeah.
But Frankie, he's not the only big man we lost, like I was talking about. Thankfully,
Yeah.
we got Amari Williams, but yeah, man, we just lost this guy the other day to a good deal with the Spurs. So
Saw that.
former Celtic big man Luke Kornet agrees to a 4-year, $41 million
It's a good deal
deal.
for him. 10
That's what I'm
million, yeah,
saying,
that's
bro. I
crazy.
didn't think he would have got that.
No, 10 and a quarter a year, that's crazy.
With the Spurs, gonna miss the 7-1 big man, Frankie. Love what he brought to the team in terms of big man depth, especially on defense
Yeah.
with blocks and everything and rebounding. But also, man, the Kornet contest, man. I love seeing that.
And him and Wemby out there is going to be pretty cool
Oh
to
my
see if they're
God.
playing together. But
Dude, that's
see
going to
if
be like
Wemby-
14 feet between those two guys.
crazy. It's crazy.
But Frankie, so we lost Luke Kornet,
Yep.
but we signed Luka.
That's right.
Hey, Frankie, hold on. Don't get too ahead of yourself real quick.
What?
It was Luka Garza of the Timberwolves. Yeah.
Damn.
So let's just bring it up.
No, I seen that.
With all these free agency deals going on and everything, let's just break it down real quick. So Celtics signed big man Luka Garza to a 2-year, $5.5 million deal. The 6'10 center averaged 3.5 points per game, 1.4 rebounds per game for the Wolves last year. And the guy hasn't played in over 40 games his entire 4-year career. And that's like a load of to me.
It is what it is. Someone for the bench.
And then they signed another former Timberwolves small forward, Josh Minott, to a 2-year, $5 million deal. Averaged only 2 points per game last year for the Wolves and only 6 minutes per game. What are we doing giving this guy $5 million?
Why are you giving 2 years?
But as of right now, it don't look too good.
That's a fact.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we jump right into the Red Sox? What do we got going on there?
All right, Frankie. So, it was kind of like almost like a 50-50 week, kind of leaning more towards the bad, but let's break it down real quick. So currently the Red Sox are 42-44 on the season, 2 games under 500. They're 7 games behind the Yankees, unfortunately. So let's break down what they did this past week. So their losing streak continued this past Tuesday, losing 3-2 in LA versus the Angels. Then losing their 5th straight, this time 5-2 last Wednesday versus the Angels.
Angels aren't even that good.
That's
They're
what
better
I'm
this
saying.
year than they were last year. But
That's what I'm saying, bro. And then they lost that series.
That's crazy.
Then to start the Blue Jays series in Boston last Friday, they lost their 6th straight game.
6 straight.
This time 9-0, getting shut out.
That was a bad game.
Oh, man, I would have hated being in Boston there. I mean, just drink some beer at that point.
Gross.
Then finally back in the win column, destroying the Blue Jays 15-1 this past Saturday. The Sox had 3 home runs, including one from the new Raffy, Ceddanne Rafaela. That's what I like to call him, man.
The new Raffy.
The new Raffy. And then back in the loss column, Frankie losing 5-3 versus the Blue Jays, losing that series.
Yep.
And then lastly, with old skipper in town, Terry Francona, man, on Monday, we beat the Reds 13-6. The Sox had 4 home runs, including 2 from Wilyer Abreu. One was an inside the park home run. Let's see that clip real quick.
Sox had a 7-0 lead in the first inning. A high drive, way back there toward the triangle. Friedel racing back, and that one is going to be off the wall. That's going to keep on rolling on the warning track. Here comes Wilyer rounding third. He's trying to score, looking for an inside to Parker. He dives in with an inside the park home run. 8-4. His 15th home run.
So that was awesome to see. Oh, yeah, man. He was gassed up. You saw that.
And his other home run was a grand slam. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He's the first Red Sox player to hit a grand slam and have an inside the park home run since 1939, which is crazy.
Awesome. Love to see that.
It was the first inside the park home run for us since 2004, I think it said, too. I mean, just inside the park. So
I was 12.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
That's awesome, bro. So love to see that. I hope we start winning more games.
I'm saying, and it was Garrett Crochet's first win at home, believe it or not. It's literally July. You know what I mean? So it's like we didn't give him any run support. He had a ton of no decisions,
Right.
But yeah, he finally got a win at Fenway. So congrats
to him
too.
Like I said, man, let's just hope they can turn it on, start winning some more games, and the Yankees start losing.
I feel like every
games.
other week it's either like, oh, they're on the uptick, and now we're under 500. We just got back to 500 last week when we were talking, and now we're under
2 under. So
it's like, ugh. But what can you do?
We'll see what happens, Frankie.
Yes, sir.
But yes, sir. Let's move over to some NFL news.
Let's do it.
Not much. We got one notable story here we've been covering the last few months, so let's
sure.
break it down real quick. So, free agent kicker Justin Tucker has been suspended 10 games for the upcoming NFL season for violations of the NFL's personal conduct policy amid the off-the-field allegations related to the alleged sexual misconduct at numerous massage parlors. I'm going to say numerous, bro. Not just one. Numerous.
He was following Deshaun Watson around, I think. I don't know.
The Ravens released Tucker on May 5th amid these allegations, and they drafted a kicker, Tyler Loop, in the 6th round, so you know that his days were numbered there, especially when they drafted the kicker. And even with the suspension, Tucker remains free to try out and sign with any team, and if signed during the offseason, he may attend training camp and participate in preseason games. You know, it's funny, though, man. Like, Tucker, like the last few years, especially in fantasy, he's always been the #1 kicker taken, very consistent, and he currently holds the longest field goal record at 66 yards he hit like 3 years ago. And it was actually a game winner against Detroit.
That was crazy.
So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with him? I mean, I'm sure a team's going to look at that and be like, man, he's suspended 10 games. Who's going to try to waste their money on that?
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? But, Frankie, we got 2 notable trades I want to bring up. And one of them I was texting you because it was 1 piece, 2 piece,
Well,
3
that's
piece.
how Adam Schefter was reporting it. Part 1, part 2, part 3. It was like crazy.
Dude, it was like a movie, bro. It was the trilogy.
It was.
So let's break it down real quick. So the Dolphins trade 3-time All-Pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey, tight end Jonnu Smith, and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Steelers for 3-time All-Pro free safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 fifth-round pick. Ramsey will make a $1.5 million raise after this move, making $26 million this season.
That's crazy.
Jonnu Smith gets a 1-year, $12 million extension this season from the Steelers. And safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, he returns to the team that originally drafted him in the first round in 2018 out of Alabama, Miami.
I mean, I don't know what Miami's doing there. I know they made another trade we'll talk about in a second, but I mean, I feel like Jonnu looked really good.
He did. I had him in fantasy,
He was killing it. Now I feel like he's going to go down a little bit because they have Pat Fryer moved there. I think.
I will say this, man, especially adding Jalen Ramsey to that secondary. They already got Darius Slate and then Joey Porter Jr. in that secondary.
Is solid, and now having a really good tight end that can catch the ball. I mean, he's an okay blocker, but he's a really good athletic tight end. We talked about him a couple years ago being a sleeper.
Arthur Smith. He loves using him. He was his OC in Tennessee, and he was also the head coach from when he was on the Falcons.
You're going to see a lot of double tight end sets over there for sure. You know what I mean? So he'll be like the Aaron Hernandez. And
let's hope not in those terms.
Not in the off the field terms.
Right. And then, Frankie, we got one more trade with the Dolphins, you were just saying.
Yeah.
So the Dolphins also traded a conditional 2026 sixth-round pick to the Giants for a 2027 seventh-round pick and tight end Darren Waller, who is coming out of retirement, earning a 1-year, $5 million deal. He last played in 2023 for the Giants, and he only had 52 receptions, 552 yards, and 1 touchdown, so he's looking to bounce back. But like you said, man, he's now in an offense where he's going to be the focal point of being a tight end over there. They still got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but I mean, I feel like Darren Waller can kind of bounce back, coming back out of retirement.
He was like the second, third, fourth best tight end in fantasy for a couple years there. So, I mean, depending on how, he might not be game ready yet, but I mean, we'll see. I think it's cool for them to get something back. Again, they had Jonnu, so why even
take a guy out of retirement who was an athletic tight end, but we'll see how he does.
We'll see.
Good stuff, brother.
We do not have a Foxborough focus this week, but we do have a fun lava round. Let's jump into the lava round. This week, we're going to talk about fantasy people we're going to avoid by position or overall in general, whether you're looking at their draft, like where they're currently being drafted, or just you don't like this player for whatever reason. So why don't we jump right into that? And what do you got at QB for me?
So, Frankie, I'm going to say this year, these are notable guys. I'm sure they're going to get drafted, obviously.
They will. It'll be depending on where.
Right, absolutely. But I'm going to start with quarterback C.J. Stroud of the Texans, bro.
He went early last year.
That's what I'm saying,
bro. There was
a
a lot of hype around him last year.
Well, his rookie year, he only threw 4 interceptions. Mind you, 3 of them came in one game.
He fell off from a fantasy perspective last year, for sure.
So, Stroud has been a great pick as a franchise quarterback of the Texans. 2 playoff appearances in 2 seasons, along with a playoff win in each of those seasons, Frankie.
Yep.
His sophomore numbers in terms of yards took a dip from his rookie year by nearly 400 yards, and he had 3 less pass touchdowns along with 7 more INTs his sophomore season.
Yep.
He lost one of his favorite targets in wide receiver Tank Dell for the foreseeable future and Stephon Diggs to us. Regardless of the injury, he was connecting real good with Diggs.
Yeah.
Right now on paper, I don't like his receiving core. Still got Nico Collins over there. They acquired Christian Kirk, who gets banged up a lot himself. They signed Justin Watson from the Chiefs and Braxton Berrios from Miami. So that means not too appealing right over there.
Yeah.
And then they got 2 rookie receivers. I like Jaden Higgins and everything, but still, man, you don't know. They're unproven right now. So as of right now, I don't like the way the offense looks. Obviously, you got 2 running backs that are injury prone in Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. And then, mind you, their offensive line looks like absolute dog. They traded their Pro Bowl left tackle, Laramie Tunsil. But Frankie, here's a number I want to bring up. They were tied 3rd most in sacks allowed last season, and that was with Tunsil on the line. So how are they going to look this year?
That's true, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Who you got, Frankie, for quarterback?
I'm looking at Jared Goff. So last year he was 7th overall in fantasy points per game for quarterbacks. He had a great season, but he just lost his OC, Ben Johnson.
He did.
Who is a phenomenal OC. He's currently being drafted as the 10th quarterback taken. So I feel like unless you need him, I mean, I'm putting him on my bench if he's there. I'm trying to get somebody better than that. I think he's going to regress a little bit this year. Again, without Ben Johnson, I expect a lot more Sonic and Knuckles this year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Coach Campbell loves to pound it. You know what I mean? He loves to run the ball. So I expect that to be a regression there. So I'm not taking him with the 10th overall quarterback.
Blame you, yeah.
I think there's some better quarterbacks out there prior to him.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we jump over to running back? Who do you got at running back?
So, Frankie, I'm going to take somebody that did very well for you in fantasy last year. I'm going to do running back Chuba Hubbard of the Panthers.
Yeah, okay.
So the dude had a hell of a season, like I just said last year, with 1,195 rush yards and 11 total touchdowns. I expect those numbers to dip drastically this year. The Panthers signed fellow 1,000-yard rusher Enrico Dowdle to that backfield, and I doubt we'll see 2 1,000-yard rushes there, if
That's
any.
a fact, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Take some carries away for sure.
They drafted wide receiver Tedero and McMillan in the first round, which tells me the Panthers may be more pass-oriented, and also consider last year the Panthers were swapping quarterbacks around at one point from Bryce to Andy Dalton, and that itself gave Hubbard more upside and opportunity.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? And by no means am I saying he will be a non-existent, in that offense, but his numbers will take a dip considering you got Dowdle there now too. They're not just gonna not use him. They signed him to a free agent deal. He was a 1,000-yard rusher. So yeah, I don't see Chuba Hubbard having the kind of season he had last season.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going Kyron Williams here. He's currently being drafted as the 11th overall running back in fantasy football. He had over 350 touches last year, which is not sustainable, and he was very inefficient with those touches. I mean, if you look at his yards per carry, they were low. I feel like Blake Corum's going to get a good amount of carries this year. One,
should.
Two, they just signed Devontae Adams, who takes red zone targets away also.
Right.
So, I mean, he gets a ton of touchdowns in the red zone. So, I don't know. I feel like he's just cannot sustain the amount of touchdowns. He was very relevant and very good last year, but it was all because of his touchdowns. He's going to be very touchdown dependent. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine him having 350 touches again. I can't.
He was like on a touchdown streak too, man.
It was crazy. So I just can't imagine him staying at that level. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 guys ahead of him, but I mean, obviously, if he's there past the 15th running back, you're still going to take a shot with him.
Absolutely.
Their
No,
offense
for
is
sure.
great, but again, I feel like they're going to have him on more of a snap count versus what they put him through last year. 350 touches is crazy.
Right,
last year,
I agree.
So.
No, yeah, I could see him taking a dip, especially with those numbers in that offense too.
Yeah, let's
Frankie,
jump to wideouts. What do you got for wideout? We're going to do 2 wideouts.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to start here with wide receiver DK Metcalf, a familiar face in a new place with the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I don't care that they have Aaron freaking Rodgers, all right? So let me break this down. So DK is in an underwhelming offense where defenses will put a lot of attention on him, and rightfully so. He's an absolute beast. But after him, and like I always say, Frankie, you got Robert Woods, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, and Scotty Miller. And they have Jalen Warren as RB1, a very undersized RB1. I think Pat Fryermuth and Jonnu Smith are the only guys who provide any sort of threat. He's playing with a quarterback now who's old and kind of regressed last year with the Jets. Who knows how he's going to play with the Steelers and everything. So I really don't fully trust DK this season.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, my first guy, I'm actually taking Travis Hunter here. So he's currently being drafted 31st for wideouts, which I think is too high. I mean, he's going before Chris Olave, Jaden Reed, Cooper Kupp. I mean, some of these guys, even before Diggs too. And this is kind of a wait and see. If they're going to let him play a ton on offense, he is a really good on offense. However, they already have Brian Thomas Jr.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not their number 1 receiver, you know what I mean, unless he gets hurt. So it's like,
saying.
to me, if he's playing a lot of defense, he could get hurt. They're probably going to restrict him on offense. They're not going to let him play the full offensive back. So to draft him ahead of guys that are playing more snaps and that are number 1 on the team is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
So 31st is just too early for him. Obviously, take a shot at him later if he's sitting there. But I'm taking Chris Olave before Hunter. I'm taking, Jaden Reed, Cooper Kupp, Diggs. There was like 3 or 4 other ones I could have
Absolutely
before this guy. So
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. The kid's nasty, and he was nasty in college. But at the end of the day, that's a risk that I'm not going to take there. So,
No, I agree with that. That's a good point right there, Frankie.
what do you got for your second wideout?
So I got another familiar face in a new place, and that's wide receiver Deebo Samuel of the Commanders, bro.
I like that one a lot.
So unless Terry McLaurin gets traded, which I don't see happening, I don't see Deebo having a good fantasy season. His first year in Washington is going to be a little rough, in my opinion. His rushing upside will take a dip in turn due to the Commanders having 2 good running backs in Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler. Also, his conditioning has been a problem. Deebo himself confirmed he was at 225 pounds, 10 pounds over his listed weight from last season.
Wow.
He's also had 6+ drops for the last 6 seasons, including 6 last year, even in crucial moments, dude. We saw it at the end of games, man, where he needed to make those catches, and he was dropping them. Mind you, I got Jaden Daniels as my keeper, so I want him to do good, but I don't fully trust him 100%.
I think it helps Jaden Daniels a lot, obviously having him. But yeah, you're right. And they have a lot of mouths to feed, I feel like, in general. Just they run the ball a lot. They have Eckler that catches. Jaden's going to run the ball. You got McLaurin there. I mean, I feel like there's, he's not going to be the primary target there, but he's going to get his.
He's going to
get
his.
But it's not going to be as high as people are.
He'll probably get maybe 1 to 2 rushing attempts a game. I mean, with the 49ers, man, he was getting like 10 a game in some games and everything. I mean, for granted, Christian McCaffrey was hurt. Hope he proves me wrong, but I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I don't see his first season in Washington going too well.
I agree with that. I mean, I could definitely see him falling off. And I have seen the pictures. He does look like he's gained some weight, too. So,
hey, man, he got himself listed at 10 pounds over, and that's coming from himself.
Oh, yeah, that's probably more than that.
You know what I mean? I know, right?
I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors here. I mean, I know they got Russell Wilson and they got Jackson Dart. But so right now, some sites have him going 5th highest wide receiver taken. A couple have 6th or 7th. But he's right in that 5th to 7th wideout taken right now. So top 5, top 7 wideout, you're expecting big things from him. So the Giants have the toughest strength of schedule this year. We've already talked about their line.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Sucks.
Russell Wilson looked clueless the last half of last year, right?
Yeah, he did.
And that's if he starts. If Jackson Dart starts as a rookie,
right?
You know what I mean? Like they have no idea what's going on over there.
No, they don't. And the schedule is going to be a problem as well.
32nd ranked. They're the lowest, ranked in terms of strength of schedule. They have the hardest strength of schedule. So I can't imagine him putting up crazy numbers with a bad line, a bad schedule, and a quarterback situation that is just not that good.
Man, what if Jameis Winston starts and throws
If Jameis Winston goes crazy and throws 30 touchdowns and 500 picks, then yeah, that's fine. He probably will catch
all
a lot.
30 touchdowns to Malik Nabers.
I would actually prefer, from a fantasy perspective, I'd rather Winston be out there, honestly.
Right,
Let's be real.
Yeah.
The kid will sling the ball.
Yeah, he will.
Russell
We all
Wilson
know
will
that.
check it down and throw it out of bounds. And Russell used to throw the ball down the field really good. I don't know what.
It's that shoulder, man.
I don't know. Yeah, so that's a really tricky one for me. I mean, Nabers I love the kid. He is one of the best talents in the league. So it's hard to pass him up anywhere. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to look at the whole team too, not just him.
I mean, yeah, and they're gonna, like I said with DK, man. I mean, he's gonna be the focal point of that offense. Malik Nabers is gonna be the focal point of that offense.
If they're relying on him too much, he might get hurt again.
That's what I'm
know what I mean?
Let's hope not.
You know what I mean? He's nasty though. The kid. If he was on a team,
bro.
he could be up there with Chase and Jefferson, all that. So,
Him and Bowers were breaking records left and right last year in terms of receptions.
That's how good this kid is.
That's what I'm
he's
saying,
that
bro.
nasty, but
Absolutely.
he's on a bad team.
He is.
So,
Yep.
why don't we jump right over to the tight end? What do you got there?
So I got the tight end from the Bills, man. The dude that really screwed me in fantasy
I
last
thought
year.
he was going to be so good last year.
Dalton Kincaid,
You
bro.
picked him early. I was I had him on my radar for a round earlier than he was going. I think you took him 2 rounds, and I was like, that's a good pick. I think he was a sleeper last year, but he slept. He didn't wake up.
Yeah, good point there. So Kincaid was the definition of sophomore slump for tight ends, in my opinion.
Yep.
He had a pretty good rookie season playing in 16 games, recording 73 receptions, nearly 700 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. But again, man, we're in a PPR league. You like to see those 73 catches, you know what I mean? Last year, he only played in 13 games, dealing with the injury bug. Only 44 catches, not even close to 500 yards, and another only 2 touchdowns on only 75 targets after having nearly 100 looks his rookie year. He dropped a tight end 2 on the Bills depth chart, currently behind Dawson Knox. And with the additions of Joshua Palmer and Elijah Moore, along with already having, Khalil Shakur and Keon Coleman, I see those looks going down even more. Also, wouldn't be surprised if he's a trade candidate at the end of the preseason or at the trade deadline.
I thought he was going to be so good, especially after Diggs left. I was like, there's a lot of targets up for grab.
Right.
And he actually regressed a lot. And
Yeah,
I agree.
a lot.
I didn't get him in any league, which I was happy about, but I really did. I had him on all my radars.
He was my
as a
starting
sleeper.
tight end. Dude, I actually started him right before I started starting Brock Bowers because I know what Bowers was going to do.
Yeah, and that was crazy. So I got Mark Andrews this year. I mean, he's
11
being drafted
touchdowns
as
last year,
8th overall with tight ends right now. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like after that bad drop in the playoffs,
Oh my God, it's in his head.
Isaiah Likely. I mean, they have a lot. Isaiah Likely looked really good on
does.
offense. So they just have so many mouths to feed. He's very inconsistent. I don't know if I'm wasting the 8th overall tight end in him. I could see him definitely falling back. It's just he's so nasty, but he's falling back. Just like Kelsey's fallen recently too. I feel like the production is just slowly going down and down. So it's
I hate to say it,
they
too. I've
used him
noticed
more
that.
for blocking. They had Likely out there for more passing situations. I mean, they're gonna run the ball a ton still with Henry. So to me, I can't trust it where he's being drafted. I just can't.
Right.
If he's sitting there at the 12th or 13th, tight end still out there, then yeah, maybe. But that's at least a round or 2 later than where I feel like he's being drafted right now. So he's a guy I'm not going to be drafting early. There's a few guys I have ahead, and I have a few guys that are behind, and this guy's behind his ADP currently on my book.
He had 11 touchdowns last year. He was actually getting a lot towards the end of the season. But like you
but he
said,
had 3 in one game.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
And he had that one drop in the playoffs last year, which he could be in his head, and who knows how he's going to perform this year, especially with the Ravens getting D-Hop too, where they could start
I was
utilizing
just going to say
more.
D-Hop's there, and they just have a lot of mouths to feed. He's going to be very inconsistent.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if Likely's healthy. If Likely gets hurt or is not healthy, then that can make
That's
a
a
big
boom
difference.
right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So
All right.
why don't we jump over to defense? What do you got for defense?
So, Frankie, I mean, I'm going to bring up the 49ers defense.
Oh, man. They were on my short list, too.
So a defense you would see at the top of the rankings is now a defense I believe shouldn't even be drafted. They lost 6 key guys from their defense last season in Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Charvarius Ward, edge rusher Leonard Floyd, and the veteran D-tackles in Javon Hargrove and Malik Collins. They do have the easiest strength of schedule. That's where you can kind of give them some sort of break going into next season. But if you look on their defensive depth chart, not a lot of notable names other than Nick Bosa and Fred Warner.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, That was one I was thinking about taking them, but I took Philadelphia Eagles just because of the same reason you're talking about.
A lot of holes.
They're currently being taken second overall.
What?
As defense right now is ADP.
Right,
I mean, their defense was nasty last year. They were great in the playoffs. They're a great team. They lost like half their team.
Milton Williams to us.
In particular, Milton
Darius
Williams.
Slay.
Exactly. They
C.J.
lost
Gardner-Johnson.
They lost a ton of their team. So I'm not taking with the second overall defense taken. I'm sorry.
Gotta take the Patriots over them.
I'm saying they're going to be like 6th to 7th defense. They're still fantasy relevant, obviously.
Right.
But to me, they lost so much. You cannot take them as the second overall
you
defense,
can't,
in my
bro.
opinion. Now, I know Nick in my league is going to take them probably first defense taken, which is fine. I still feel like they're going to be relevant. But to me, they lost so much. It's crazy.
like
What are they going to look like out there?
I'd take the Patriots defense over them.
I mean, we'll yet to be seen how the Pats do, but at the end of the day,
They're going to be nasty.
I think they're going to be good this year. But again, that's just crazy to go second overall there
Yeah, that's
in terms
insane,
of defenses.
bro. I don't know who put that list up, but they got to stop smoking.
Fantasy Pros, you know what I mean? And Yahoo are the two sites that I look at. So
Yeah, they were drinking that day.
good lava round, buddy.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, great lava round, great episode. Thank you, everybody, man. Good job today.
And appreciate
it.
that present, man. You know, I'm bringing
man,
home to the
anything for you
wife.
guys. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great episode, and was my phone.
The phone's ringing. Here we go. What is it this time?
Hello.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
No, you got the wrong number for sure. This is Boston's Banter. Appreciate it. We're on air. Thanks. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't even understand, Frankie. But yeah, get back to your lines,
Yeah,
man.
so thanks again, everybody. Like, share, follow, all the good stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
all
we
the-
actually got some fans in the studio, Frankie. Let's acknowledge them and everything.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, guys. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
You know, love having the fans in here watching us,
Absolutely.
do the show and everything.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Frankie, real quick though, why does she look so scared? Holy shit, Frankie, there's a raptor in the room. How the did that thing get in here, bro?
I don't know.
Keep absolutely still. This vision's based on movement.
I'm pretty sure that's the T-Rex, you
That's
should know that, Alan
That's
Grant.
definitely a T-Rex for sure.
Hey, Frankie, I think
He's gone. He's gone.
Frankie, I got an idea, but can you tell me what it is this week, bro?
I know what it is. It's Jurassic Park Rebirth this weekend. Can't wait to see it. I know you're pumped to see it.
Oh,
too,
absolutely,
so.
bro.
My
Look,
son's
man.
going tomorrow to see it too. I know you're ready, man. I can't wait to see
Yes,
this. It's gonna be
sir.
so good.
Frankie, why is it getting dark in here, bro? It's starting to rain and everything. I didn't bring an umbrella.
I don't like
I mean, I
this.
like that and the heat and everything, but man, I don't like what's going on right now. Very abrupt. Frank, I don't know. Let's get the
I
out
don't
of
like
here.
this at all. From Beantown,
Frank, you feel
I
that,
felt
bro?
that too. With my water bottle shaking and everything.
Dude, I don't know what that is, man, but do you feel that? Frank, wait, wasn't Tom Brady supposed to be here?
Yeah, I thought so.
Where's the goat?
Holy
Holy God.
All right, do your ending lines. We gotta get the out of
From
here.
Beantown to your town, stay wicked Pissah.
From Foxborough to your borough, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you not next week, but the following week after. Oh! Frank, that thing's freaking
I'm outta
out.
here.
Let's go.